Okay. What did Marjorie Taylor Greene do? What did she do today?
Well, she actually didn't get suspended for being racist, although she should have been when she tweeted out the Kwanzaa stuff. But she got suspended for COVID misinformation. Finally, 5 strikes. 5 strikes.
5 strikes. 5 strikes of COVID misinformation. We have a video of it, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a clip breaking it down.
Okay, let's get the breakdown of why Marjorie Taylor Greene's Neanderthal behind is finally suspended from Twitter.
D1.
Twitter has permanently suspended the personal account of Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. The social media service removed Greene's account on Sunday after she tweeted a misleading chart with unverified data Saturday. The tweet falsely suggested COVID vaccines were causing large numbers of deaths. The post represents Greene's 5th violation of Twitter's coronavirus misinformation policy, meaning her account will not be restored. However, her official congressional account remains active. Greene responded to the removal of her personal account on Getter. That's a social media platform targeted at American conservatives. She attacked Twitter as a, quote, enemy to America that can't handle the truth.
5 strikes, Georgia. Where else in the a congressperson? 5 strikes before they finally got her. Her work. Her. What point is it at this point? Because we're going into 3 years of the pandemic. The damage is done. The misinformation has been done, and they gave them 5 strikes before they say, okay, now finally we're going to take her page down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's too much grace. They could have cut that down to 3. They could have, held her to a higher standard because she is a congressperson.
That's right.
But instead, they have allowed her to spew her misinformation, which has resulted in what? How many people not taking the vaccine? That has resulted in how many people ending up hospitalized, And so I just think it's unfortunate that we have elected officials who have decided to, take this pandemic as though it's just a joke. It's sad, it's irresponsible, and it's about time. And I truly hope, because I think Twitter was also the first the first social media platform that decided to kick Trump off too.
Donald Trump. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I feel like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of them need to, or should I say Meta, I'm sorry, should start taking notes, because Twitter is really taking the lead here in regulating misinformation. But I think they need to cut that 5 strikes down to 3. And other social media sites need to follow suit.
It's wild, James and David. You could testify to this. We've gotten taken down on YouTube. We've had our YouTube channel suspended for a week because of quote unquote COVID misinformation. But what is actually happening, Georgia and James? We're reporting on the misinformation. Right. We did a video of Donald Trump and we were debunking it in one case. I forgot the other case, but they take us down for that. It's like on a certain side of the algorithm, they get really dumb and dense, and like they can't possibly tell what commentary is versus, or what a criticism is versus misinformation. And they get really intentionally obtuse. The Facebook, Meta, Instagram, when it comes to progressives and Black people particularly, they really shut our stuff down, but give these racists, James, they give them so much space, like 5 strikes. And forgive me, I am doing one and the same. I'm talking about her racism as well as this COVID misinformation, because the same folks you got out here spreading COVID misinformation got their Klansmen hoods sitting in the closet at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. It's very true. I'm just mad that it took that long. That account probably should have been banned a long time ago. And I have another question for y'all, because y'all have been more in this politics space for a while, but since Trump's punk behind got in office back then, I don't remember seeing a lot of stuff like this. It's like Trump made it cool for them to wear those hoods in public. per se, because back then, I wasn't seeing a lot like this. Let's be, Reagan was in office, Clinton. I've been through a lot of presidents, and I can honestly say I've never seen Republicans act up like they've been acting up since Trump has been in office.
What do you think, George?
I mean, I think that Trump gave, quote unquote, permission, social permission for these politicians to be their true selves. I mean, let's be clear, this type of racism still existed. We had just evolved as a nation to the point where politically, professionally, publicly, it wasn't appropriate anymore. We were shunning that kind of behavior and that thought. And the only time that you could share those thoughts would be in the privacy of your own home. But yeah, Trump, he I don't want to say made it cool, but like that's what his whole slogan was about: make America great again, quote unquote great. Because when has America ever been great for Black people, or people of color broadly? So yeah, I mean, it's not that it didn't exist. It's just that people were doing it within the privacy of their own home before Trump.
Yeah, that's right. And Trump gave them cover fire. Right, because you can't go out like you said, Georgia. There was this period where your hood was at home, but you couldn't wear your hood on national television. Trump made that possible because he gave them cover fire. Once they realized you could say, "Oh, I could go all the way to the White House, being a total complete racist, being as big of a bigot as I possibly can be, being as big of a misogynist as I can possibly be." Once people saw that. People of a particular hue, they followed in suit and followed in kind, and it inspired them. But it also gave them cover. So now you have all the village idiots running into the Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene being amongst them, and Twitter finally getting her slothful self out the paint. But she still has her. Go ahead.
I think it's better this way, though. Not that it's good, but I would rather know how you feel about me and my people than to be rolling up to, Congress and smiling in our faces. Meanwhile, every time there is a vote that is going to save our lives or a vote about our ability to vote, you're blocking it or voting, So I would rather know who's who, and I would rather people show their true selves so that the nation can see. And it's important that social sites like Twitter, they have some regulations. Otherwise, we're going to have another January 6th because they're giving them platforms.